here? Yeah, I am. Oh, I'm a lobster today. Uh, de- oh my God, deconverted man here. Sorry, I accidentally played a thing in a different window. Mr. Sigma is back with a video saying, yes, God does exist, in response, sort of, to my lengthy rebuttal to his first video, where he didn't give us any sound or valid reason to think that God does exist. He just gave two very broken and bad arguments. And I don't, and maybe he listened to the entire video. I don't know. Uh, he thanked me for the response, yeah, because I'm getting him attention and all that. He also seemed to not know whether or not YouTube's copyright system would let him play my video and his video. Yeah, no, it's absolutely, that would be under fair use. And secondly, I would never go after somebody for using any of my content unless they were doing so to do something illegal or unethical, like, defraud somebody or something like that. So you're free to use my content in any legal, moral way that you so desire, including responding to it. So just to get that clear. But anyways, so his video here, I already listened to it, and uh, I'm not going to spend an hour or whatever I did last time on it. Um, he his only thing here is that the probability of your existence is really high, and or really low, sorry. The probability that you exist is really low, and that's somehow meaningful or interesting, and I guess he thinks that proves God somehow. It doesn't. It doesn't prove anything. Somebody in the comments like, it just shows you don't understand math or something like that. It's like, yeah, that's part of it. But no, yeah, the likelihood that any given event happens is probabilistically low, depending on how you do the math. But also, the probability that it happened is 100% because it did happen. So you can fiddle around with math and do all sorts of fun stuff, but it doesn't really prove or mean anything. And it certainly doesn't prove God. So he also said something that annoyed me. Uh, that he said, atheists have a beef with God. No, we don't have a beef with God any more than we have a beef with Jar Jar Binks or Iron Man or Spider Man or any other fictional non-real people. Like I I I I just want you to make a good argument. That's it. You didn't make a good argument. You need to fix that. So why are you not doing that? If you want people to believe in God, then give them a reason that is valid and sound. Otherwise, what are you doing? Um, so he didn't give us empirical evidence, scientific testing, uh, or a valid and sound argument. So he gave us literally nothing last time, and this time he doesn't give us anything either. So why should we believe you? And he's like, oh, I'm not here to convince you or whatever. But no, your video is called Proof of God. So you're supposed to offer proof of God. You didn't do that. So you failed. So relabel your video, make a video that actually attempts to give an actual decent argument. And the only way that he's going to be able to do that is to learn the system of informal logic and then apply that to his argumentation so that he can perhaps create one that will be valid and sound. And until he does that, we're not going to believe his conclusion. And that doesn't mean that there is no God. It just means you have a bad argument. So I don't know that he didn't seem like he learned anything if he did watch my video, and it kind of bothers me, if that's the case. But then again, I don't know if he did listen to it or not. But anyway, so the probability that you or I exist or that anything else exists is 100% because obviously we're here. So there's no use in saying, the amount of sperm that are produced, you know, millions, I think, maybe billions. I don't know. It's a lot. I don't know what it is. I'd have to look it up. Doesn't matter though. Okay. Um, and then only one of them reaches the egg, and that's the one that is going to be you, right? So if you said, well, if it's a million to one chance, then it's a million to one. Oh, I'm so special. Well, no, because the thing is, if a different sperm had hit the egg, that person would exist. Okay. And then that person would think, oh, aren't I special? No, they're not. There is no specialness there. The likelihood of any of those people being born is as great as you. So you are not special. You are not magical. You are not anything. You are a happenstance. That's how that would work. So actually the chances of you being not here being low isn't evidence that you're special. It's actually evidence that you're not that special, because it just indicates you are just here, luck of the draw. Yeah, absolutely, luck of the draw, but that doesn't mean anything. If you shook up a bag of marbles and you reach in there and you pull out a marble, and they're all different colors, okay? Different colored marbles, put them in a bag, shake it up, reach in, grab one, and go, oh, look at that. That one's special. No, it's not. it's just a marble, There's keep pulling out marbles. They're all different colors, different, they look different, whatever. They're all interesting, they're all cool, but they're not special in that sense, because the one that you picked had just as great of a chance to be picked as any other marble, okay? And it doesn't mean that God had anything to do with any of that either. Um, and you have to step back from this assertion a bit here, Mr. Sigma, and ask this question: why would God create atheists? Really think about that. Why would God create atheists? Why would God create people of a different religion than your religion? Why why? What purpose does that serve? Now, the typical response is, well, free will. Um, no, because do you really have free will if you're taught a different religion from the moment you're born? If you've never heard of the right quote unquote religion in your entire life, do you really have a choice? No, you don't. You didn't hear about Christ, so you don't know, or whatever God you worship. It doesn't matter. If you have a religion that is picky about what you believe, then how does free will interplay with the people that have never heard of that version of God? Has no saying, has no bearing. What if somebody is born and raised an atheist? Do they really have a choice in the matter? I don't know. Depends on the person, right? And this comes to this idea of you have a choice in what you believe. You don't really. Not at the. You can't just believe the deconverted man is a lobster, no matter how much you want to think that, or like you try to convince yourself that I'm a lobster. I don't think you're gonna do it. Now, I can't say 100% certainty that somebody out there couldn't break their brain and make themselves believe I'm a lobster. But why would they do that? It takes so much time and energy and effort to do that. Uh, but it wouldn't be instant. So I can't just decide that there's a God. I need to be given the sort of proof that I have for everything else in life. Okay. And I don't have that. So I have absolute proof that there's a wooden looking key type of thing on his wall. Kind of, it reminds me of a keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. I don't know what it is per se, but there it is on the left top of his wall there. Okay, I have 100% proof that he's holding a axe. It appears to be metal. The handle appears to be plastic, uh, and on top of it, he's affixed a microphone. I have 100% proof that he has a watch, and then he has a necklace with these two bars on it. and then he's wearing a dark blue shirt, and that he has a white slash gray wall behind him, and that he is a human. I have all that proof. I do not doubt for a second that he exists, and that he goes by the screen name Mr. Sigma, however you pronounce it. There. So that's the evidence that I need of God, is the sort of evidence I have of this guy. Right there, I can see him, I can interact with him, I could test him, I could poke him, whatever. And whatever God is, whatever your people claim God to be, doesn't have that sort of evidence for it. And so then the only thing that we could have for God would be a valid and sound argument. But Mr. Sigma didn't make a valid and sound argument last time, and he doesn't make a valid and sound argument this time. And that is and will continue to be the problem. So, Mr. Sigma, if you want us to agree that God exists, you need a good argument. You don't have a good argument. So that's what you need. That's the problem, and that's it. So there you go. That's it. Moving on. I'm done now. See you guys next time. Be skeptical until then. And after then, stay skeptical. Okay. Hey, Mark, you can tell you what, you can email me deconverted and one at gmail.com, and we can set up a day and time to talk live. Okay. So, all right, Mark. The guy in the chat saying my arguments are weak. What arguments? I'm pointing out that he had no argument. That's my only argument. So how is that weak? That doesn't even make sense. Anyway, so if anyone wants to set up a time and day to talk with me, they can email me deconvertedman1 at gmail.com, and we'll do that. I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so convert your time zone to mine and tell me a good time and day that you'd like to do it. Anyways, it needs to be like a day more than when you email me, like not on that day, like, hey, today I just emailed you, can we do it today? No. Can we do it tomorrow? No. It's gonna need to be like the day after that or something. Give me some time. But anyways, all right, until next time, be skeptical. Lobsters demand it. Let's change my avatar before I forget. What should I be? I want to write. Yeah, this one's cool. I'll do that. All right.